7 minutes.
Yeah. What time does it start? Be fast. Call the finance committee meeting to order. The clerk take the roll, please.
Mr. Bale,
Here.
Mr. Copeland,
Here.
Mr. Drexel,
Here.
Mr. Horton,
Here.
Mrs. Showerman. Here. Mr. Patella,
Here.
Mr. Winarski.
Here. Jump right into it. Orders number 23, 4th, 2025 general fund budget supplemental appropriation of $125,228. Full release of restricted fund balance of adult probation supervision fees, first read at our last meeting 5/6. Had any additional questions or additional information on that? No, move that one forward. Number 2, ordinance number 27, 8th, 2025 general fund budget supplemental appropriation, $433,620 for housing and immigration payments. I don't know if everybody got a chance to see the memo from our solicitor on that matter. So this morning. Do you want to address that, Tom?
Sure. When I saw this on the agenda, I decided that I would do a little research, and not to my surprise, it pretty much came back the way it has come back for the last couple hundred years. If anybody reads the Fifth Amendment, it literally says that persons, which include immigrants, whether they're documented or whether they're not documented, all have the right to receive notice of the charges, and they all have a right to due process. So we have seen where the ICC has taken a position, and we have even seen it on TV, where they are abusing or stepping on the rights of non-citizens. And they are grabbing them off the streets without notifying them in advance of why they may be in violation of the law. And they are detaining them in prisons all across the country without giving them their right to due process, i.e. a right to a hearing, so that they can defend themselves on the issue as to whether they have rights not to be deported or have to be deported. So the approach that the ICC has taken pursuant to the President of the United States is simply illegal. And it's been illegal since the days of the Constitution, and it has been made and subsequently reaffirmed as illegal by a slew of cases, United States Supreme Court cases, many of them going back to the turn of the last century, involving internment of Japanese people, etc. So I can't see how Erie County could indirectly sanction the obvious unconstitutional approach to apprehending these people and taking money from the federal government and detaining them against their rights. So I have recommended that council say no to this particular ordinance and refuse the supplemental appropriation.
I'd like to say something.
Can I see this memo too to show it to Bill? Or did you already send it to him, or I just,
No, I did not, but yeah,
Okay.
sure, I'll give you a copy of it.
okay, thanks.
But it's pretty simple.
Tom, I listened, I heard what you said.
Yeah, okay.
And as I stated a couple weeks ago, we aren't holding anybody that hasn't had their due process. I was told by some staff members this week that were pretty upset and concerned for the safety of this facility and themselves. That there was an article where it was mentioned last week that we're doing this, putting the safety and security and the lives of our staff and inmates in some kind of jeopardy. We have a good jail here. We have good staff. They don't need to be burdened with more insults and pressure and people calling them on the phone and saying, why are you holding these people, and screaming at them? They're doing their job. I had an officer get spit on this week. I had an officer get slammed against the wall this week. And all we're gonna worry about
Mr. Chair.
is this falsehood. We hold everybody legally. They've had their due process. We hold them on ICE holds. They had their I-200 and their I-203 form. I made that very clear last week. And I thought maybe it was just a miscommunication of this media article. But I guess it's not, because I'm hearing the same thing here. And it's sad.
Can I just respond
Uh-huh.
first? Sure, hopefully you understand that the complaint is against the ICC and not you or people. At all.
Is it ICE, you're saying?
ICE, excuse me, and not against the Erie County prisoners at all. And in fact, without detaining these people, you won't get the phone calls anymore and get spit on or face the pushback from all.
We've had a contract, this contract since the early 2000s. We hold ICE detainees all the
There's a-
time, and
there's
this
a-
now, it's
there's
an
a-
issue.
Yes, there is. I didn't, and there would have been if the former president of the United States had decided to aggressively, against the law, pick up these people, there would have been. But that only happened in this year. And the contract could be terminated with a 30-day notice. I reviewed the contract.
So we want to terminate and not bring in revenue and not have uphold our contract with the federal courthouse right here in Erie.
Well, you don't want to get abused by
Mr. Chair.
people who think what you're doing is wrong,
Tom.
but that's up to county
Okay.
council. I just.
I just want to state again, folks,
Mr.
that
Horton is
we're not
recognized.
Excuse me.
Hold on,
Excuse
Mr.
me.
Horton is recognized.
I can appreciate both our counselors' recommendation and counsel. And I can appreciate the passion with which you speak about the men and women who work at Erie County Prison. We think it's a good prison too. And so, but this isn't about that. And so I didn't want to say a point of information and stop you, because this ain't about, what we think about the men and women or us putting anyone's lives in danger. And I don't think anything that he spoke to would suggest that. And so I just want, since this is a public, I just want to kind of push back a little bit on that respectfully. I feel the same way you do about the men and women, but that ain't what this is. And so I'd like to just move on if there's something that speaks that's a little bit more germane to what he spoke to as far as ICE. Let's just someone here, Paul would be more, since you seem to have, we welcome any input from the administration. As far as the contract or any of that, you can bring any of that stuff
Sure.
down to, and we'll look at it and stuff, but this isn't about anything in the past. And I think we can all agree that we're in a whole different place than several years ago, as far as the law goes. And that's what our solicitor is speaking to, the law, not the passion or how we feel about the men and women who work for Erie County.
Ms. Sharma.
Sir, I just want to make sure I understand. You are saying that everyone that comes in there has all the proper paperwork.
correct. We have told, we
And
will
there
not
is-
hold anybody,
There is nobody that doesn't have the proper paperwork.
there's not.
So if we don't accept this money, then it will be the citizens of Erie County that are paying their bill.
It's kind of like blood money. To put it bluntly.
Mr. Drexel.
No, I'm not
Oh.
asking again, I was trying to. Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify, I believe there was discussion regardless of what council decides to do with this ordinance, there was concern about the amount of money and what has actually been received and what is forecasted to be received. And I believe you were waiting for an updated number from the administration as well. I just wanted, do we have that number?
We have that number. Patrick, can you bring that piece of, it's 144,000 and change.
From January 1 to April 30th, we've received $141,000 of this money already, so if you don't recognize it by ordinance, it's already been received anyway, so.
Can you please send that in written correspondence to the clerk so she can have it amended before the next meeting?
So-
And one last thing, because this spoke to how this was introduced to us was a remedy for overtime pay, just in to paraphrase, for overtime pay. And I think it's important to note that at budget time, that the amount of overtime that was spent historically in the past, that we knew would be a shortfall, was not accountable or counted in the administration's budget. And I just want to put a pin in that. Stop me if I misspoke on it.
That's all I wanted to bring.
Who are, I don't know you, I'm sorry,
I'm
he's the
just
chair.
I'm a citizen, I don't know if you want to speak or not.
You're the chair and stuff, but we typically, we don't. do
I'll
the
tell
things
you
that
what.
we does as citizens to be heard.
Well, and we've been adopting a practice of asking the citizens what we heard, and I'll at least raise it at the end of our agenda for you to speak. That's okay.
That's
Just so
great.
you don't interrupt the flow. All right, moving on to item number 3. Ordinance number 28, approval of a waiver of the bid requirements of the purchasing and sales procedure, the administrative code, and approval of sole vendor contract to the First Match in the county and the Erie Juvenile Probation. Okay. First read of the last meeting. Nothing else? Huh? Number 4, ordinance number 29, removal of the CCM from the administrative code and endless separation. First read 5, 6. Questions, thoughts, concerns? It'll be fast. All right, and then 5, 6, and 7, substantially the same business. Supplemental appropriation of $15,000 from Erie Regional Library Foundation. Jess, if you want to go ahead, happy birthday. By the way.
Thank you. So this is an annual endowment from the Klugowitz family that covers 2 of our the databases that are public use, one of which is called Novelist. It's a librarian-supported database that allows the public and our internal librarians to look up something that someone liked and find them something that's similar. So we use this both internally and the public has access. And the other is Fold3, which is a database in the Heritage Room that holds mostly military-related genealogical records. We just need to be able to accept that money and keep that going.
You want to deal too with the Riverview Intermediate Unit in the PA Humanities Council?
Sure, so the second one is 2 separate donations that we're putting together into one ordinance. One is the monetary part of a sponsorship for our summer library program from UPMC Health Plan. They've provided us with $2,000 of funds to purchase incentives for the public to participate in the summer library program. And then there's also $500 from the Remake Learning Grant, which is specifically to be used for STEM programming for elementary and middle grade students. And then the last one is from PA Humanities. So in the budget, we expected to receive $4,000 from a grant from PA Humanities to run our teen reading lounge program. They actually gave us $5,000, so we need to be able to appropriate that extra $1,000 so that can be spent for our teen programming.
Mr. Ward.
No, but thank you, I appreciate all of that, good stuff. I guess, you know, and this is a little bit off the stuff on the agenda.
That's okay.
I think council would like to come down to the library and see the Neptune space and see.
Absolutely.
And so if Ms. Chilcott will reach out to you, schedule that time.
I can also invite you, if you are available, the Library Advisory Board they have 2 in-person meetings every year. One of them is next week, Monday at 12:30. That will be in person at Blasco in the Admiral Room, and they have also requested a tour. So I have asked Gannon to, since they really are the people who should be giving those tours, I've asked Dr. Mason from Gannon to come and be able to speak more eloquently than I could about that space. So you are also welcome to come to that. And that is open to anyone who attends that library advisory board meeting.
Me personally, just being a construction guy, that's, and I love Dr. Mason. They're probably a lot more sticky than me. I'm more construction kind of guy.
Absolutely.
I just want to just kind of.
There's a lot of construction coming our way and hopefully even more if all goes the way that we hope, so.
Yeah, I just want to see that aspect. Always good to see you and happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What do you mean, time more?
Jessica, what's the more?
What's that?
You said more construction coming your way. What's the
Oh,
more?
so we are, as part of what we planned for this year, if you've been at the library in the last couple of months, you've probably noticed caution tape across our main stairway. We've been waiting for the, both the labor people and equipment to take the covering off the main stairs and grind all of that down. I guess the glue that was used in 1997, imagine that is not holding up the way that they expected. So we have to replace that. And then also the children's renovation will hopefully be getting started here soon. We met with the designers to get a proposal, and I will be coming to you with that as soon as they have something to us.
So
Yeah.
you open that up and I'm just kind of anal about that stuff. I was in the library a few nights ago and I did see the caution tape. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I walked around the perimeter of the world. I also seen that some of the carpet paneling, if not all of it, extends and updated.
Yeah.
And I know from previous trips that there was some concrete work on the sidewalk.
All things we're trying to piece out and carefully spread across budgets.
And I
replace
understand
bullets.
that a lot of that was, that not so much the facade space, but the blacktop area of the parking lot. I do know that wisdom says to wait till all of that moving around is done. And I know that the developer will probably pick up some of those costs since they're the ones who tore it.
And I can
to the
certainly
degree
bring that
that
up
it
to
is.
facilities. I would
Yeah.
love to be the person who could fill those holes.
Yeah,
Because I'm a fast mover, but
no, those aren't fillable holes.
Yes, those are-
It's from, yeah, those are, you know, we had fillable holes, but that's like a minefield, and it makes you fail to take pictures of it. But I'm down there periodically because it's in the second legislative district. And we think it's the crown jewel of the Bayfront still. We're excited about all of the exciting things that are going on. It's fine. Thank you. And your staff. Thank you.
I have a great staff. Any other questions?
Moving those three forward. And the last item was analysis of the general fund balance. You have that for us, Paul?
Same numbers last time, no new general fund appropriations, 27,900,000.
Marcy will take it away.
So you guys,
Excuse me,
Yes.
sir, for your adjourn, you said that you would leave space.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. I apologize. I'm kind of
So if you
recovering
guys
from
will
being
stop.
sick.
speak up because we have the air conditioners on and they can't hear what you're saying. You have to speak a little bit louder.
If you wanted to, yeah, sure.
I've never done this, so I'm not sure. Do I just give information?
Come up a little closer and
Just
speak up.
Name of the community and we'll get 3 minutes.
I'm-
Name the community, we'll give you 3
Okay,
minutes.
my name is Julie Hertz, spelled H-I-R-T. I live in Mill Creek. I just wanted to address this $433,000. Normally I wouldn't be concerned. We have a large immigrant community in Erie and a very aggressive administration who are not, there's reputation of not holding the line. I'd be concerned about this money being spent. I would rather spend more in taxes, honestly, than take this money and have even one immigrant. Right, sorry. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms.
Just in case there's anybody else online, anybody else like to speak? Anybody else want an opportunity to speak? No, so much.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to call a personnel agenda to order. First on the agenda, a possible appointment of David Cannon to the Erie Metropolitan Transit Authority. Term to expire December 31st, 2029, brought forward by the county executive. Number 2, possible appointment of Paul Cosgrove to the Erie County Mental Health and Intellectual Disability Board. Term to expire December 31st, 2027. That also brought forward by the county executive. Number 3, possible.
Is there something going on with that board? Because didn't we just have one in the last meeting and now another
A
2?
lot of the terms expire at the same time,
Oh,
same as when we all leave it
okay.
at the same time.
So we had one in the last one and 2 in this one.
A possible appointment of Sean C. Sue, MD, to the Erie County Mental Health and Intellectual Disability Board. Term to expire December 31st, 2027. Board by that county executive.
These are all new appointments, right?
Yes, I don't say
Yeah.
reappoint.
So that means these people vacated the position, whoever they were.
Doesn't necessarily, or they expired.
Turned out.
Yeah, the one says.
So we find out
reports.
which are which, because it's relevant, because it speaks to us whether they're finishing the term or they're getting a term.
Send me the recommendation letter, Mr. Cosgrove fills a vacant position for his first 3-year term. And the next one, it says that Sue replaces Dr. Matthew Sickle, whose term ended at the end of 2023.
Ended when?
December 31st, 2023. So I'm assuming that they've been occupying that seat for the year after.
You have to just go back and see, because some of those were staggered to begin with, and they were intended to be staggered. And so either they were, it just says vacated, it doesn't say what was the appointment, but she'll have record of it. And it's relevant as to when their term starts. I think.
Motion to executive session.
So moved.
Thank you very much.